Good morning peeps, namaste, welcome to my channel. I'm gonna be talking about general basic nursing interview questions because I asked you guys if you think it would be beneficial, and then a lot of you responded saying it would. I have decided to do this. I still remember my first interview ma jani belama मैले YouTube मा सर्च गरेको थिएँ कि, and then I couldn't really find a lot of good videos that could help me with my interview questions, so I thought maybe it would be a good idea to post this out and hopefully एकजनालाई मात्र helpful भयो भने that is more than enough. I have done my job. Right, without further ado, let's get started. So question number one, and this is really important question kineki often you get asked, tell us about yourself, which is like the icebreaker. I mean, this is the time you sell yourself, so you need to talk about yourself, timro past experience dekhi liera timro university dekhi liera how all these experience and your studies are going to be relevant to the job that you have applied. So with my nursing degree, you can start off saying how passionate you are about nursing and how you got your where you got your passion from and what made you go into university, and your degree later, how you're going to bring all the knowledge that you have learned into the practical side of it. So you really need to sell that part. Don't make the mistake of saying I am Nepalese, I came to UK in blah 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 year. I still remember my first interview when I was asked, tell us about yourself. I was like, oh, I like going to the gym, I like swimming, I came to UK when I was blah blah blah, and this is the school I went to, and luckily I still got the job. That is not what they're looking for, especially when it's a nursing degree. They want to know more about your experiences, what you've learned, and what you're going to bring to the trust. This is question number two. Why should we hire you? Athava, why this trust? Like, why do you want to come and work in this trust? I mean, suruko question say why should we hire you? It's really important that you know your strength and your weaknesses. Give me the list of things that you're good at, and also it's really important that you have examples of it. When was the time that you showed your strength, for example, and then you need to somehow relate that to your work. So for example, if I say, oh, I have like a really good communication skills, then you can be like, oh, I feel like this skill is really important in my nursing job. As a nurse, we have to work with the MDT, which is your multidisciplinary team, and it's really important that the informations are passed properly and correctly with all the team that is involved with patient care. So that's just an example. You can just come up with whatever you have done, and they might be like, give us an example. Oh, this time there was a miscommunication between the family and the nurse. I just went and then I just spoke to the family, and then just speaking to them and listening to their concern helped me resolve the misunderstanding, which could have possibly ended up as a complaint to the pals. Okay, just an example. You just make sure you have examples alongside what you're saying. They want to see how you have portrayed it in your real life as well. Your weakness, you have to be very smart about it. So what you can do is you identify your weakness and at the same time be like, but I'm working on it, or hopefully future with all experience and stuff, then I will start to get better at it, type of thing. My weakness, then I would say delegating task is my biggest weakness. And then because I like doing things myself, so often what ends up happening is that I end up taking all the workload and then end up doing everything for myself, and sometimes I might be running out of time, and then that is when I need to learn to delegate. However, over time with my experience, this is getting better every day. Then that shows that you're aware of your but at the same time, the fact that you like doing your things yourself also shows like, oh, okay, so she's quite hardworking. This is the type of, okay. So just be smart about your weaknesses. why this trust bandakeri, please do your research. Any organization that you're going to go into, you need to do your research. You need to know what their core value is. What does the trust believe in? Often NHS trust, they have like list of cores that they actually believe in or like they thrive for, so it's really important that you understand their core values and know it off by heart because often it's like 4 or 5 and it makes sense. Like if you think about your patient care, those are related ones often. So just you forget about it, just be honest. Be like, I'm sorry, the last could say I forgot, or like I'm sorry I don't know. That shows that as a nurse you understand your limitation and you know when you're like when you don't know, you just say it. The more honesty they count on that, and part of being a nurse is like your honesty. How I would answer this question is I would list like the core values of the trust and then say your core values really relate to my opinion about nursing. I have always prioritized my patient first and this seems to correlate with your trust. It's like, what do you think your day-to-day would look like? Athava like, sorry, the sun's too bright. Or like, what do you think is the jobs or responsibilities and it's really important interview that you go through your job description. Often the job description is where all the interview questions lies. And description it's always a good idea to print it out and like key points or highlight have like experiences or the time that you have shown, I don't know, good communication skills, the time you have shown that you have been an advocate for your patient, the times you have I don't know, shown that you were leadership skills. This just have like a brief examples of it. So like leadership skills, if you qualified band 5 nurses, maybe there might not be a lot of leadership skills that are what you can say is like, oh, there was times when मेरो healthcare staffहरूलाई मैले lead गरेको थियो अथवा like मैले help गरेको थियो अनि that automatically becomes a type of leadership skills. Okay, fourth one, which is the basic thing that we get asked pretty much all the time as a nurse, is timro, how do you assess your patient? So it can be worded differently at different occasions. So it can be like a scenario based question, where they'll be like, oh yeah, timro patient go, I don't know, oxygen saturation is only 88%. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So every time you see your patient, you start your A, B, C, D, E. So please make sure that you know your A, B, C, D, E off by heart. So timro airway dekhi liera, breathing dekhi liera, circulation dekhi liera, timro disability dekhi liera, exposure dekhi liera, you need to know exactly what they are, exactly how you're going to assess them. So look, listen, feel dekhi garera, ani you need to know what are the things that you do and how you would do it, type of thing. So new start go example on a like, oh, patient has collapsed, what would you do, how would you assess the patient and stuff like that. Every time assessment see, it's always back to your ABCDE approach. There will be lots of scenario based questions. Often my questions were like AKI kasari garso, athava like sepsis kasari look after garso, athava your AF, how do you manage them, post-op patients kasari manage garso. So stuff like this, you just need to be aware of how you would do what you do. Always remember timro patient safety comes first. Always put your patient first. Safety always there, and when you're not sure about something, always make sure you ask somebody else. Athava like timro nurse in charge, don't be afraid to just go and ask, because look, if they look at you stupid, then so be it. Like, I would rather make a safe decision about somebody's life than take the risk of me looking stupid and then somebody else suffers for it. Right, those were all the common questions that I have compiled together from all my experiences. Bear in mind that I am not an interviewer myself. What I've done is just I've put all my experiences together and then maybe came up with like common questions. That is it, And also just a couple of tips for you guys to think of. Number one is like, please wear appropriate attire. It's an interview, you need to look like appropriate, because first impression, boy, is important. Another thing what you find is when you're applying for jobs through NHS website, which is NHS Jobs, what you'll see is underneath, like say if you want informal visit, then contact blah blah blah. I would always suggest to do a informal visit, because informal visit you get orientated about the ward and how it works, so when you come for your interview you don't get lost or like get late because you were lost. Please leave well ahead of time. The last thing you want to do is go there and then turns out hospital parkings are a nightmare. So if you try and go park somewhere and then you don't get a parking spot, then you're just going to be going round and round looking for a stupid parking place, and then you might end up being late, and that is not a good impression now, is it? Right, that is it guys. I hope one of you is gonna find it helpful. Just do lots of research, give your best. There are lots of jobs for nurses. We are always in demand for nurses, so don't worry, just give your best and hope for the best. Right, I'm gonna sign out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully at least some of you is gonna find this helpful, and thank you for watching. Mwah. Bye.